you are with me on this cold, rainy morning. And it was a very, very cold rain this morning when I was taking my garbage out. I don't have enough to soak up the rain up top on my head. So that those cold raindrops just run around up there and run around my skull. But so it is reminding us that winter is coming for sure. And that was definitely cold, cold rain. And so I'm glad that you are joining me. I'm sorry I missed yesterday. I don't know what it was with the program, but it just would not let me go online. It wouldn't let me go on the air. It just kept telling me I couldn't get there. And so I apologize for missing yesterday, but I don't always know, but I'm thankful for guys in our church who know how to fix it and did fix it. And so a shout out to John Brandenburg for his good work and help in getting this back up and going. And so I want to thank you for joining me. I know I'm late today. I had some things this morning to attend to, but we're in the second chapter of Revelation, and we're looking at the church of Pergamos. And so he says in verse number 12, and to the angel of the church of Pergamos, write, these things saith he which hath the sharp sword with two edges. Whenever that's referred to in Revelation, oftentimes it's the spoken word. In other words, the ability of God to speak, and it is so. And so God is going to address with his words, and they're going to cut like a two-edged sword, dividing asunder soul and spirit. And so it is a very piercing way of speaking. And God is speaking here to the church of Pergamos. And he says, I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is, and thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. So hast thou also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. This is the second time God talks about hating, compromising with the world. The Nicolaitans were those who compromised truth to fit into the world. They were those that did not want to stand in contradiction to the culture. They did not want to stand in contrast to the darkness and evil of the day. They were trying to blend, much like we see in the evangelical world today, people compromising their positions of clear distinction with Christ and holiness in order to make the world feel more welcome, to make the world feel more comfortable. Well, that's what the Nicolaitans did. And God says, I hate that. And this is the second time he tells us in this chapter that he hates the works of the Nicolaitans. And then he says, I have another problem with you, and that is that you have those who have accepted the doctrine of Balaam. Balaam led Balak astray, basically because he knew that he could not get them to side with the revelation of God and the clear-cut decision of God or the design of God. And so he had this compromise, right? He dangled out these temptations to try to get the Israelites to act a lot like the pagans, so that they wouldn't be all that distinctly different, so that it would be hard to tell them apart. So these two things are very similar, and God is addressing the church of Pergamos because he is saying, listen, you guys are doing some things amazing in the most difficult place to do them, the seat of Satan, where idolatry reigns and where Satanism or the occult is deeply rooted. And you are standing against them, even Antipas, who was martyred for truth and standing for truth. You stood with Antipas, and that is to be commended. But you have some people in you that won't stand. You have some people among you that are compromising to look like the culture, who are living their lives a lot like the world that they're supposed to be infiltrating and reaching with the truth. And I have an issue with that. And you better repent, he says in verse number 16, or else I will come. Actually, the Greek indicative there is that I am coming. So you repent, or I am coming unto thee quickly, and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give the ear of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone, which is the picture of justification, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. God is saying, listen, I'm going to bring salvation. I am going to help you to promote the message of the gospel, but you are going to have to support who I am and what I'm like. You cannot try to present the gospel while living like the people of the culture who need it. There's going to have to be a distinction. And if you don't allow the distinction to happen, you don't repent from the place that you are, I am coming unto you, and I will rebuke you with my own words. And God is addressing this church very severely for their compromise, for not being distinctly different. Well, can I just tell you that as we go into these last days, and maybe are full-fledged into the middle of them, and watching the season unfold around us when Jesus will come. And I'm going to say a lot more about that tonight in our Wednesday night service as we dive into Genesis chapter 22. But we need to understand that God is counting on his children to accurately reflect the character of his son, that we are light and salt. We are not to mess around with darkness. We are not to keep the salt from doing its job. We have to infiltrate the darkness with light. We have to infiltrate the world with the salt of truth. And we have to be able to impact them with the gospel, which means we have to reflect the very center figure of the gospel, Jesus Christ. We cannot be compromisers. We cannot be that which tries to fit into our culture. We have to be willing to stand countercultural in order for Jesus Christ to be magnified. And that is what God is dealing with in this church. This is what he is warning us about, is it's so easy to want to fit into our culture rather than standing distinctly different from it. And so may we be what God instructs this church to be, distinctly different from the culture for the sake of the gospel. And God will allow the gospel to take deep root, transform lives, and the gospel to be exalted. May that be the case in our sphere of influence. May it be the case at Faith Baptist Church. May it be the case in our place of witness. And may we see people come to Christ because of our faithful witness of Jesus Christ. God bless you. I hope you have a great day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless.